Hi, thanks for joining my channel. I'm Alison, and today I am talking about applying for jobs. So, my current job position that I am in is full time, even though I do those full time hours over 4 days, which I'm very lucky that I have been able to do that. And side note, I believe that where possible, all full time jobs should be able to do that so that you have a really good work life balance and happier, people in their lives. But that's totally side thing to talk about. So basically, my full time job is having some downsizing. So the position I'm in, which I work in an office, even though I work from home, I do bookkeeping and office administration. The work is decreasing, and I really need to look for another position. Uh, so I'm sorry. So my current position would move down to a permanent part-time position. So I really need to look for another part-time position or casual position to top that up. Preferably not casual because, like everyone, I've got bills and commitments, and casual can be difficult to make sure that you have enough coming in, and that can be a pretty big stress in life if you're not guaranteed to know that you're going to get your hours. But so with those changes, my work is really amazing, and I have, even though I know it needs to happen, uh, there's not a huge rush. But I'm one of those people who, when I know there's something that needs to change or a different direction that's coming, I just like to, get it happening, know what direction I'm going in. I like certainty. And so for me, even though there isn't that humongous pressure to, have it done today, I'm like, okay, I need to do it today. So the first thing that I needed to do was I needed to update my resume, which, oh my goodness. So when I logged in and found my old resume, it hadn't been updated for 12 years, approximately say 12 years. And that was because the last time that I applied for jobs was 12 years ago. Even though I have had newer positions since then, I didn't have to actually apply for them. I One of them was a position within the current company that I was working within, and the other one, which is the position that I have now today, I had worked for them previously, and so I didn't, as much as we met up and talked about the position, I didn't need to do, the full put in your resume, put in a cover letter, apply. So it was a very different situation. So when I found my resume, I was a bit horrified, to be honest. And I do remember even feeling like this 12 years ago, which what would have been about, what are we, 2025, so say about 2013, which is correct. I'm sure it was 2013 that I started, those roles that I'm talking about when I did last apply. Uh, anyway, I get so off track. Anyway, back then and now, when I've looked at my resume, I just thought, wow, this is so outdated. It was the old, and people who are my age would definitely remember these types of resumes where it was very basic, done on your Word document. It started at the top, have your details, then it would have, I mean, some might go previous jobs first and then go into your skills or courses or those sorts of things. Then it might have some, general skills, and then into your referees. And it was literally it was black and white, it was on the Word document, it all flowed down like that, and boring as anything. And to look at it honestly, if it came across someone's desk with 200 other applicants or even 50 other applicants, they're just going to move it to the side. They're not going to look at it. And so I was very aware, even when I applied for my positions, back in 2013, that was the case. But I was just very lucky that my charming personality or something must have gotten me over. I don't know. Who knows? Life works in mysterious ways, but somehow I still got those positions. And I guess, technology and the way that those sorts of items are presented now in this day and age is very different, even to 2013. Things have come so far. So the first thing I need to do was update that resume. So I did a bit of searching on the web, and somehow I must have actually clicked on someone's example of that they had in images on the internet, and it actually took me. It was a Canva that, sorry, a Canva that it had been. Gosh, I've really lost my words. It was in Canva that the person had completed their resume, and I thought, oh my goodness, I've used Canva a lot now for gosh, probably a good couple of years now, and I have a premium subscription as well. So I thought, perfect, this is what I'm going to do. So I completely revamped it, and I'm pretty proud. We'll see if I end up getting a job. I'll let you know if it's actually of any substance or if I just think it's amazing because I did it. Uh, but it has the photo at the top, has, my info underneath on this side, and then down the other side is it has my previous work positions, my courses, and those sorts of things. And referees are like across the bottom, and it's got some color in it. I think it is a nice touch to have your photo. Obviously, it's not a must, and not everyone has to do it, but I I think it's just a nice personal touch to have on there. So I was pretty happy with that, but I did have to, because it's just one page, and being that I'm 47, and even though I have stayed with a lot of my job positions for many years, it's still, there's no way that that would fit on one page. So I just chopped previous jobs off. I did a bit of searching online about it, and people just said, it's not really necessary to put every single job that you've had on there. So, I've probably got maybe the previous 4 positions, which does span quite some time. Like, it probably spans back approximately 20 years. So I've done that and cut right back on my courses, and, any sort of skills that I had, I cut those right back. And yeah, so it all fits on one page, and I'm super proud of it. So last night or last week, I had already gone through, if you're listening in Australia, I don't know if it's an overseas company or not, but we use Seek a lot. There's many places to look for jobs, but Seek's just easy for me. And so I had already put some jobs on, a list of ones that I might want to apply for. So last night I applied for 4 jobs, which was great. Had to do some cover letters as well. And I used Canva for that as well. I found some modern, takes on a cover letter, which looked a lot better than what I would have done in Word again. So, yeah, and sorry, not bagging anyone who has a Word document for their resume and their cover letter, because, Word can be prettied up a lot as well. It's just how I had it in mind was super, super basic. And honestly, the person looking and going through those resumes and cover letters would have just went, boring, boring. It wouldn't catch their eye. And I know that it's something like a few seconds that when, people that are doing recruitment look at things, they don't, it has to catch their eye. It has to look appealing, which is difficult because, not everybody is good at making things appear really polished in that way, but they might be the best person for the job. But that's the way it goes, I guess. If I wasn't able to do it, I'd probably pay someone to do it, to be honest, even though I wouldn't really want to spend that money. But if I was that desperate, but I'm pretty savvy with that sort of thing. So pretty happy with my how it turned out. So I applied for some jobs, all part-time ones. Again, it is going to be, I think, a little difficult because I'm only looking for that 1 to 3 days max. And a lot of people call part time, they might do it 5 days a week, 9 till 3 hours, and things like that. But anyway, let's see how we go. What else was I going to update you about applying for my jobs? It, actually, so it was the first time, and not just last night, but in the last few weeks when, I sort of knew that it was coming, that I was going to need to top up my hours with another work position. It's the first time I've really thought about my age affecting applications. And even though I don't put my date of birth on the resume, uh, a couple of thoughts went through my head. And I know that it's against the law to, discriminate by age, but let's be real, like, just because something's against the law doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Hell, why would we need police if people didn't break the law? Like, come on, let's be let's be real. So yeah, I was thinking about it in terms of, first of all, if I had used my old Word document resume, because the jobs go as far back as they do, it's very obvious how old I am, or you could have a ballpark figure. Now that I've cut, a fair bit off, and, dropped some positions off that, I think that is definitely going to help with that. So hopefully there won't be, that discrimination when someone's just looking at my resume across their desk. But then I was also thinking of it in regards to going to an interview. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Uh, I don't know if I look nearly 50, maybe. I don't know. But, I'm not in my 20s, I'm not in my 30s. And even though I've got at least 20 years of work life, left, which would take me to 67 years old, which I believe for my age group in Australia, that is the official retirement age, is 67 for my people born in my year. So that's 20 years, minimum that I've got. And unless something drastically changes, I'll definitely be working till that age. So thinking about age discrimination and how that will affect, applications out there was an interesting one. I have never had it happen to me. Obviously, explained that the last time I applied for positions was 13 years ago. So I was, in my 30s. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I guess I would never really know, because, there's always going to be other more skilled people applying for these positions, than yourself. There's always going to be someone who has, better things on their resume. So how would you know that they're discriminating by age? But anyway, just some food for thought. So yeah, there's definitely some more jobs that I want to apply for this evening. So I'll get some more of those out, and hopefully I'll give you an update of how things are going. And the next part that I have to think about, which I probably really should be thinking about sooner than later, is about the interview process. So if I am lucky enough to get called in for an interview, I have started to think about, oh my gosh, because I've been working from home since before COVID. Of course, I do have some office wear in my cupboard, but sounds like I say this every video, which I don't really mean to, but I've been on weight loss medication and I have lost, a fair bit of weight. So a lot of my pants don't fit super well. They're a little bit big, and I would not wear them into an interview. It's fine around home, or, when you're just being comfortable, but definitely not to an interview. So I'm probably going to need to get my bum to the shops and purchase a couple of outfits for interviews, and for, when I do get a job, which is likely to be in an office and not at home now, since a lot of jobs, have returned to the office. So I need to do that. And then I was thinking about, my hair. You got to make sure that, going to an interview, you're presenting yourself, hair, eyebrows, nails. I need to, all these things that are really important for an interview. So it's not just the resume, the cover letter, the applying, it's the next step as well. Then you have to worry about the nerves of the interview as well. But let's just wait and see if I actually get called up for an interview first. But I probably should go and get my clothes ready and prepared so that I'm not running off to the shops at the last minute. Okay, I've raved on for long enough now. If anyone's still listening, thanks for still being here listening to me ramble. And I hope to update you really soon on how my job prospects and my job searches are going. Take care. Talk to you soon.